Hello, my name is Colin. I'm a technical advisor with the partners team here at Vertigis, and I'm going to show you how to configure conditional tooltips and labels in Geocortex Inline. Let's get started. Geocortex Inline Designer provides an easy-to-use interface for quickly configuring your inline views. One of the things that you can do in Designer is configure conditional logic into your tooltips and labels. I'm going to show you that right now. So we'll start with the road attribution band. What we're going to do is look at some of the chart options for the charts that are configured here. First, we'll start with an easy one. We'll have a look at I think this is the lanes. Yep. So here we have the text function. This is a tooltip text function for lanes. It's very simple. It's just a straight string concatenation of number of lanes for the actual attribute no lanes underscore I here. The attributes are accessible through the data array. So that's an array that's appended by the D. So D and then the name of the field that you want to have displayed. If you use that, then you're able to access that in a text function or in a label. So this is a very simple example, but what if we wanted to present a more complex set of attributes? Perhaps concatenate a bunch together, or in other cases where you have a coded domain or other value you want to present in a more friendly manner. Well, then we can use conditional logic in our text functions. This is done using arcade scripts. I'll show you one right now. So here we're looking at the guardrail chart in the road attribution band. And over here we can see the text function. Right away you can see that it's much more complex. It's a combination of string concatenation as well as some conditional logic about how we're going to present the guardrail position attribute. You can notice right away that we're using a when operator, which is our first hint that we're actually using an arcade script to write this. So whenever I'm writing text functions that include arcade scripts, I like to use Esri's arcade script sandbox. And here we have the same script that I have in the inline text function there, only formatted a little bit nicer. And what I can do here is I can immediately find out whether there's any errors. You can see that immediately if there's a missing comma, or if there's a syntax error, the sandbox will tell me. But I could also introduce a dummy attribute or dummy variable in order to test the actual script. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm creating an object D, which represents our data set. And that's an object that includes a set of key value pairs. In this case, we're only looking at guardrail position. So this object has a guardrail position, and I've set the value to be LM, which represents left median. So right away, I can test that. You can see that the result is left median, which is exactly what we expect. You can also test cases where it's null, where it defaults to the undefined. So we know that this script works fine. So what we can do is we can go ahead and paste that back into Geocortex Inline, and then we're confident that it'll work when it's deployed. So let's look at a little bit more complex example. In this case, we're looking at attenuators, and if you look down at my text function, you can immediately see that there's a lot more going on here. We've got 3 different variables, and we're concatenating them together, again using the when operator to present a more user-friendly display of the attribute. Of course, this is a little hard to read, so let's have a look at it in the arcade sandbox. So here we can see that we have 3 when operations against 3 different attributes. I'm concatenating them all together in a nice user-friendly, easy to read single string. So let's have a look at some of this in action. I've deployed this particular view to Geocortex Web with the inline. Let's go ahead and select a route. And right away you can see that I've got my road attributions band here. And there we have our tooltips appearing as we expect. Here we have a more complex one. And our attenuators up here, you can see we have our type, side, and direction attributes being presented in a user-friendly way. So using arcade scripts and conditional logic, you're able to apply logic to your text functions as well as your labels in Geocortex Inline.